We are live on the Believe in Monsters podcast.
Says we've been live for 2 minutes.
Says we've been live for no, I think that's 13. It says 14 seconds on my ticker, but that's okay.
Mine says 2 minutes and 12 seconds.
Well, you're wrong. I didn't push it that long ago because I just pushed the button. So
I'm
this
still in
is
Chicago time.
Believe in Monsters. Follow us on Twitter at BIM_pod. We are on the Believe Podcast Network at Believe Network, BLEAV. Your host over there with the beautiful bald head is Mr. Lucas Bearry. You can find him on Twitter at LBerry_40. I am your other host for the evening, Mr. Chris Krogman at Shy Bears 1985. Once again, we are missing or getting a late appearance from a Mr. Joe Gaither, who is covering Bama basketball for Tide 100.9. So go fucking call their hotline and give Joe a world of shit. Listen to this podcast and hear that. If you're watching on YouTube, you can check out my new background. I got the him flag up. Justin Fields is him with the number 1 as the I. That is fire as fuck. Thank you to whatever Twitter person I hijacked this from. You are the real queen. It was, god damn it. Let me find her name because it was fucking. I think it's great. There's another one with him, but he Fields is standing there, so like his jersey like makes the eye, so it's like Fields looking out over the line of scrimmage, and then
I like that one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's Ronetta. So at Remy Loves Sports. Thank you for the background. I hijacked you, but I appreciate you. So Bears, Eagles.
Much closer game than we thought.
Went to the game with some friends. Yeah, much closer game than we thought. The under was the play, and Bears plus whatever you got it at 8.5, 9, either
Well,
one.
you said it was a mortal. You said it was a mortal lock as soon as I said hammer the over because it's going to happen.
Yeah. There's no fucking. There's like, dude. Like, I love when you get puffy, dude, because like when you're wrong, there's no like there's silence, and when you're right, there's like reposts and Twitter, I told you so's and all kinds of shit, just like everybody does. But it's funny. It's just funny. I do it too. It's great. Hey, I appreciate you saying it with your chest. I stopped doing that now because I just don't want to deal with the repercussions. I really don't care.
I don't care. I'll own it. The fact that we stayed in that game is good. I mean,
yeah, no, it was great. I thought the defense is actually playing much better.
Kyler Gordon, man,
than they have
Kyler
been.
Gordon looked great.
And the Bears, dude, like this is one of the coaching things I talked about early was coming out of bye weeks and having extended time to prep for an opponent, and how the coaching staff was going to do that, and they did very well. You know, this is a very well planned game plan. I mean, obviously the offense wasn't phenomenal. Justin doing a lot again with his legs and almost scored on that one scramble. Stepped out of bounds at like the 11 or whatever, and then Monty immediately took it in. So Monty with the double touchdown. Haven't seen that in fucking who knows. Of course, this is the week I have a fantasy football bye, and all my fuckers go off. Jalen Waddle and Montgomery, and everybody's like scoring touchdowns, and now Hurts is hurt, and next week already looks abysmal. So whatever. Yeah. So Lucas, give us the. You were there. Talked a little bit pre-show about the vibe at Soldier and the tailgate experience. Why don't you give the folks at home your rundown of you guys said you partied in the Boat Harbor lot,
Burnham lot
closest to Soldiers Fields. And what was the vibe like? What were the other fans like? Were there a lot of Philly fans in the tailgate lot? What was going on there?
Definitely decent amount of Philly fans. I mean, they always travel well. We had a few in our group as well. I would say, majority of the stadium definitely was Bears fans, but definitely a decent representation from the Eagles. Uh, Not a total sellout, which is kind of the first time I've seen that at Soldier. Most of the time, that stadium's always packed and sold out, but decent turnout. I mean, it was a definitely a cold day. The Bears are obviously a 3-win team, so nothing too exciting, but Fields should have people excited and still go into games because he does something every single week that makes us drop our jaws on the floor, and it's insane. But the vibes at the game are great. The tailgate was great. Um, you know, the Philly fans there were actually great, which is the first time I've probably experienced that. But I've never, I guess, went to an Eagles game outside of the Lynx, so definitely a lot of enjoyable moments, and shared memories with a lot of people there. So that was fantastic. We met up with a gentleman from the Philly area dressed up as a giant eagle after the game. He swung by for some fireball shots with us, and we had our man Bren was dressed as a bear. So we had the eagle man and the bear man together, and we shared a fireball shot. And he told us, a lot of the Eagles fans there came up to us after the game and really were uh, just like, Fields is the guy. You guys found your QB. So we got a lot of that after the game, which is great to hear, just unprompted from another fan base. Um, and yeah, overall, I mean, the Bears fought, like you said. Eberflus, very solid game plan coming out of the bye week there. And this is the second, or I guess third time we've seen it this year because we've had the extended week, the bye week, and maybe second time this year. Anyway, the
Yeah,
Bears
'cause
were really prepared.
we had that especially mini buy or kind of the mini buy the Thursday all the way to Monday nighter against the
Right.
Patriots, where we came out and just absolutely mollywopped them in Foxborough, which was great to see at the time. But well, that sounds like a lot of fun, man. I really wish I could have come and hung out with you guys at Soldier and watched us compete with one of the best teams in the league, to be honest, and one of the best offenses in the league. Held most of them down. AJ Brown definitely got his. Devonta Smith looked pretty scary at times, but
They both
Hurts
had,
didn't go. Go ahead. Yeah,
I think they both had didn't they each have well over 100 yards? I think
I know
Brown had like
Brown had
180,
180. Let's see here.
and Smith, I think, had
Mr. Smith
150.
had 126.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I don't
so
even know if they had anyone else catch any passes, really.
yes, yeah, they really didn't. So Hurts went 22 of 37 for 315. Did have the two picks on the day. He also ran for 61 yards and 3 touchdowns. AJ Brown had 9 for 181, and Smith had 5 for 126. Next highest in terms of catches was Quez Watkins, but he had 4 catches for a whole 6 yards, 1.5 yards per catch. And Kenneth Gainwell was the only other person to catch 2 passes. But for the most part, Bears defense looked pretty okay. Had another freaking injury, Jack Sanborn ankle injury. He is out for the year, I believe. Eberflus said he was put on IR. That's great. The lose out prediction rolls on. Only real concern is the Vikings not playing for anything in Week 18, and the Bears playing a bunch of undrafted free agents that want to hustle hard and play good and make the team next year and pull out a stupid win that fucks us all the way from number 2 to number 6.
Can we talk about that real quick? So the Vikings, if they keep winning, though, and the 49ers keep winning, they'll both be playing for the 2 seed, correct?
Bro, I'm not good at this. Sure.
Well, I'm just saying, hypothetically,
I guess
if they have the division wrapped up, I mean, the 2 seed would give you home field up until the championship game, so you would want to play for that, correct?
For sure. For sure. You definitely would. So currently in the NFC, Eagles are the 1 seed.
And they just need one win to wrap
Vikings,
that up.
well,
So
Vikings are the 2 seed, but they have a better record than the Niners at 11-3. The Niners are 10-4. So we would need one flip flop.
well, did they play each other this year?
I feel like they should, but I don't know. Let's see here. Schedule.
It
Week
doesn't look like they did, but I don't really
16.
get how.
Well, it's probably because of the placing of the teams last year, but I could be wrong on that. So the Vikings have the Giants this week. Niners have the Commanders. And then week 17, Vikings have where'd it go? Where are you fuckers? Oh, they have the Packers in Green Bay. Week 17, so that could be a little spoiler.
Who does the Vikings?
Yeah. And then the Niners have, where are you? They're at the Raiders, basically a home game. And then, of course, in week 18, the Bears have the Vikings, or the Vikings have the Bears. But so. And then the Niners have the Cardinals. But then I wouldn't know what the tiebreakers were.
All right, here. I got it right here in a 49ers mailbag. The tiebreaker is the conference record versus the NFC, which it looks like the 49ers have right now. If the 49ers and Vikings finish the regular season with the same record, who has the tiebreaker advantage for seed 2? They didn't play each other, so the records against NFC opponents, the 49ers are 8-2, while the Vikings are 6-3. The 49ers play Washington and Arizona. The Vikings play the Giants, Green Bay, and Chicago. So,
So, yeah, the Vikings really can't afford to lose that game.
Yes, correct.
Okay, good to know.
So yeah, so they hopefully will have something to play for so long as the 49ers beat the teams that they should. Which is good news for us because we really, like you said, I would hate to see the Bears put in all this work of tanking, quote unquote, only to pull one out against a bunch of Vikings mailmen.
Yeah. Well, at the rate the Bears are getting hurt, we'll see nobody out there for that game. So,
well, anyway,
we'll find out though. We'll find out. Anyway,
what did you? I mean, so watching this at the game and watching it on TV were two different entities because obviously we have a different point of view. What did you think just watching this, Chris?
Not it was good. I mean, Bears seemed to hold their own most of the time. They made the Eagles were getting a lot of yards. But they turned the ball over a lot. I mean, that was the biggest story of the game. Probably is 3 turnovers for the Eagles against a team that doesn't turn the ball over a whole bunch. That was repeatedly told to me by the announcers is that the Bears can't turn the ball over and the Eagles don't turn the ball over. So that was the biggest difference. The Tevin Jenkins injury. Yeah, saw the replay. Couldn't really tell what happened. Saw the guys on the field. That was scary. So I'm sure that was similar in the stadium with it being kind of scary with everybody kind of going out on the field and circling around him. He seems to be okay.
Yeah, they said he might practice tomorrow already.
Yeah. From all accounts, it seems like it was a neck injury, but maybe it was just like a bad stinger or something. I don't know. But yeah, game was fine. The Bears really only covered because of that Byron Pringle touchdown at the end, which that was fine. That was fun. I mean, Fields rolling out and finding.
The Eagles pretty much sent the house on that, right? It looked like they blitzed like 7.
Yeah, but yeah, Justin escaped, and then but I don't know because like there was still coverage on the outside because he didn't take off and run. There was people there.
I mean, I saw a few instances this game, just talking off this point where it seemed like Justin did a good job IDing where the blitz was coming from and going to either his hot read or making the right decision with the ball. I mean, the one touchdown pass he had to Monty, I think, was a similar situation where they sent some extra pressure and he red hot immediately threw to his guy and it was an easy TD. The Pringle one was the same. I mean, pretty sure they blitzed a lot. He rolled out and instead of running, which previously maybe he would have done, he kept his eyes downfield and hit him for an easy touchdown, which is small things like that are the growth I'm looking for out of him this year, and we're seeing it every week, which is great.
100%. Absolutely. Yeah, I agree. I think, I mean, I don't know if Pringle really makes a difference, but he didn't, I mean, I don't know if guys were open earlier in the year when he was taken off. Earlier in the year is really only the last, like 6 weeks or whatever that he's been kind of going absolutely apeshit. But yeah, definitely like to see that added, element to his game to be able to keep his eyes downfield, hit that throw. Pringle was just ridiculously wide open. So
Right.
good read. Good times.
Well, you got to hit those. I mean, we see other teams do it all the time, and a lot of times I ask myself, how come the Bears can never have that busted coverage or play, and it seemingly never all works out. When the guy is wide open, that's the play when the ball sails 30 yards over his head or something stupid happens or a penalty or something. So glad to see that finally happen for us. Yeah, whatever, backdoor cover, but 25-20 will take that. There's honestly, I mean, I know we seemingly talk about this every week, but the offensive line was once again pretty hard. Outside of a few guys. I mean, Cody Whitehair apparently had a knee injury, but he looked absolutely terrible this game. And Reddick basically just absolutely abused Leatherwood and whoever he was on all game.
Yeah, Leatherwood did not look so good. Did not look so leather.
I think Braxton Jones actually had a decent game. He probably had the best game on the line.
Yeah, I would agree. I think, I mean, I don't know how much this tells us about all of these guys, considering the Eagles have a really good defense and a good defensive line. How was I don't know if you caught it, but when Justin Fields slid in the first, I want to say it was in the first quarter, and Sue tried to punch the ball out and punch Justin in the side of the head. Did you see that? Could you see that from where you
No,
were at?
I couldn't see it from the stadium, but I did see it pop up on Twitter.
Yeah, it was.
I mean,
I don't know. Go ahead.
I don't think it was purposeful like everyone thinks, but normally when the QB does get touched in the head, even if it's just a light tap, I mean, his hand made contact with his helmet. That's normally a flag. So.
Oh yeah, his hand more than made contact. I mean,
yeah.
he definitely.
Well, that's what I mean. I'm just saying I've seen it where like even incidental contact gets called. So should have definitely been flagged.
Yeah, and I'm more speaking to the history of the player in Sue. I mean, we've seen this from him for his entire career. He's a dirty bastard from Detroit. So they should have called it. But oh well, I digress. Yeah.
I did see Fields, speaking of the growth of Fields, I saw him on a few designed runs. I mean, he ran out of bounds either for a gain of 0 or sometimes a loss of 1 to avoid taking a hit and trying to get just like an extra yard or something. So again, just growth in little ways for him that you like to see.
Yeah, I want to see him throw it out of bounds in those situations.
Yeah. Well, I don't even
at
least on designed to run. I don't know. Can you even throw it or will it be a flag? if they're run blocking.
Yeah, I guess it depends on how far downfield the guys are. Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I mean that's my take on the offense. Is Fields was electric again. The offensive line stinks. All our wide receivers are hurt, and Montgomery had a pretty solid game.
Yeah,
The
I
Bears
didn't
once
know
again ran the ball very well.
they did. I didn't know
As a
that
team.
N'Keal Harry was out
Right. Yep.
as well as everybody else.
Nah,
Mooney,
yeah, they were
obviously,
literally
Claypool.
playing with. Oh, I mean, I guess we could talk about this. Velus Jones, another fumble, man. I mean, I
That
hate to be that
ball,
guy,
I
but
can't believe that ball stayed in bounds. If I'm being 100% honest, like the way he was going,
yeah, you would have thought it went with his
the way
momentum
he
would have
got
took it out.
hit, you would have thought it would have bounced out of bounds, but it just sat there and like bounced like a pogo stick. Like it just bounced on the tip, just bounce, 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 and just stayed there. And I was like, oh my god, just the luck of this guy and this team. But yeah, another fumble. But ESB goes out in the first quarter with a concussion. Like they
Right.
were down to
Yeah,
like
he was
Pringle essentially as their number one.
Simba Webster, dude.
Yeah.
And Dante Pettis. But
First catches of his career, which I had no idea that was the thing. Because he's been on the team for like 2 years, right?
I didn't even know he was on the team this year, to be honest.
Well, I don't think he was on the team the whole time. I think he's been probably up and down from the practice squad a few times just because of various injuries. But yeah, I had no idea he had never caught an NFL pass before. That was surprising.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, he's insanely fast. So, but yeah, no, I don't normally like pulling the plug on draft picks too quickly, but I don't know, man. I don't know if Velus is going to pan out as a receiver, but like I said before, I would love to see him just keep developing as a special teamer, I guess.
He's not even like a gadget player because wasn't
Right.
that like on an end around?
Yeah, it was the play they used to give to Pettis and ESB. He's probably just in his own head at this point. I mean, he's never really had a history of fumbling in college either. Just, I don't know. A big swing and a whiff. Hey, we didn't do that on our quarterback, so that's good. I mean, looking at the Patriots and the Jets, and it's like, okay, they did a big swing and a miss on their first round quarterbacks, not a third round wide receiver. So,
well, yeah,
could be worse.
I'm curious to see what happens like with Seattle, with the Giants, to see like what direction they go in the offseason with quarterback.
Right.
Since both those teams have probably outperformed what a lot of people thought they would at the beginning of the year. Geno Smith has looked fairly good.
I feel like that's the worst situation to be in.
Yeah.
When you have to decide to extend or stick with the guy for an extra year, I hate that. I think that's a terrible position to be in because most of the time these guys are like they can do it for 1 year, but they can't keep doing it, or
Right,
they're good, but they're not good enough to get you to that next point.
Yeah, there are stories out there of guys that came from nowhere or whatever, came back from being terrible, like Kurt Warner. Obviously, everybody knows that story. I think wasn't Mark Bulger like a arena league quarterback or some shit?
Yeah. But have you heard of a guy being a backup for 10 years and coming in and being good for the rest of his career?
Has Geno Smith been out there for 10 years?
I'm pretty sure he's been in the league that long, dude. I mean, he had some chances as a starter.
He was drafted by the Jets in the second round. I don't feel like that was that long ago. I want to say like maybe 6 or
10
8.
years, dude. He's 32 years old.
Wow.
So, well, anyway.
Well,
we're talking about the Bears draft class. I'm starting to get more faith in Kyler Gordon. I mean, I've always kind of I've seen the flashes of his insane athleticism. I think they kind of did him a little bit dirty. Not dirty, but they put too much on his plate by making him play slot and outside. I feel like, I don't know, man, ever since that Patriots game, I feel like he's definitely been getting better. I don't know. Yeah. I see little glimpses every week where I'm like, all right, yes, I see the second round pick in there, and he keeps getting better.
So
He's
he
an
had
animal against the run.
yeah, not afraid to get his nose in there. He had the pick, and then he almost had a second one, right? Like, I mean, it was
Right.
pretty
Yeah. He
close.
made a
Yeah.
really nice play on it.
Yeah,
I
he's
think most of their yards given up honestly came against Jalen Jones. They were throwing at him a lot.
yeah, AJ Brown pretty much. But apparently he wants the challenge, or he welcomes the challenge. So he gets Stephon Diggs this week.
No, I'm talking about Jalen Jones, not Jalen Johnson. I
Oh,
didn't,
my bad.
dude. When I rewatched the game, I think obviously a lot of people on Twitter thought he was on AJ Brown the whole game, which wasn't the case. Jalen Johnson held his own for most part. I mean, besides that really long play at the end, which was just an insane throw, I thought he did a pretty good job versus AJ Brown.
Okay. My bad. Misunderstood. Yeah. No, I like Kyler Gordon. Brisker has played pretty well this year as well. You got Sanborn. I mean, Robinson flashed early in the year, and it's really only his like second year playing defensive end. I mean, he was a wide
Right,
receiver
a wide receiver.
for so long in college and whatnot. So hopefully he gives you something over the next couple seasons. Maybe Braxton Jones is your left tackle next year. I think that's probably the only viable offensive lineman you got. We don't know what happened with Doug Kramer because he got hurt. Jatir Carter hasn't gotten any snaps, or significant snaps anyway. And then, yeah, Velas. Ugh, gross. Gross. But overall, I'd say the draft class is pretty solid.
Right. I'm just looking at the defense. I really like how the secondary, I think that is the core building block of this defense. And that's really, I mean, I've kind of said it for a while, but I do believe this defense could have a pretty quick turnaround. They just got to get some guys up front. I mean, they have to make a splash free agent signing and get some someone to rush the quarterback. But I think once they can kind of help out the secondary by pressuring QBs more, I think the secondary will be even better than the flashes we see. 'Cause, I mean, I think we're starting to get a glimpse this week of what they could be. Jalen Johnson, like I said, I think is a really good player. I think Gordon is developing. Brisker and Jackson, when healthy, are solid duo. So if they can get some pressure up front, I think that's a unit that will be a strength for the Bears for a while.
What was it? What was Eddie Jackson's injury?
He has a foot injury. I think he has a Liz Frank injury.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and DeAndre Houston Carson with his second pick of the year, third pick of the year. He's this has probably been one of his better like actual turnover years.
Oh, is that who had the other pick?
I think so. Yeah. Pretty sure.
I'm trying to find the stats on how many yards Jalen Johnson gave up because I think a lot of people are getting him confused with Jalen Jones.
Jalen Jones. Yeah, I don't know how to find that shit. It's usually buried in PFF or some bullshit, and I can't find
Plus,
it.
it's also hard to tell whose coverage responsibility it is on zones and that kind of stuff. So, whatever. Right. I thought Jalen Johnson played a pretty good game versus AJ Brown, all things considered.
Yeah. So no, I agree.
That's that. Bears fought. They lose another one. Broncos win.
Yeah.
Oh, Broncos we have the number 2 pick again.
Yeah, locked in for now.
And Houston almost beat the freaking Chiefs. I mean, Houston is looking good. If they can definitely beat the Titans.
Yeah, but
they would have to win twice, right?
Don't they have to win out?
I don't know. I don't know if a tie is good or bad in draft position world.
Do they have a tie? Good God.
Yeah, they do.
There's so many ties this year. Dude, the Giants and Commanders tied the first time they played. And then it was 20-13 with the Commanders driving. And I thought it was gonna I thought it was going to end in another 2020 tie. It would have been awesome because that was the score of the first one. That would have been phenomenal. Going back to the Vikings, that game against the Colts, they had no fucking business winning. No business. They were down 33-0.
Absolute insanity, dude.
Like there was
Absolute
some
insanity.
crazy shit this weekend.
That. How do you blow that if you're the Colts? I don't care how bad of a team you are. How do you blow that? Like, all they literally needed was a second field goal in that second half. They would have won.
Like, yeah, they had it.
Their offense just completely shit themselves.
And their defense, who's like 12th DVOA or whatever bullshit in the league, is still just gave up 4 passing touchdowns and just embarrassing.
Now, I do have to ask you this. This is something my brother brought up to me that I think is interesting. I mean, you've seen probably some very good wide. Have you seen a wide receiver as good as Justin Jefferson in his first 3 seasons? I mean, I looked at Randy Moss's numbers. I would say maybe Moss, but like he's already has 2 1,600-yard seasons in 3 years, which has never been done in NFL history.
Yeah, it's hard to look at statistics and judge it against the past just because, like, even though we have been in a passing league for a while now, it's obviously ridiculous passing now. Plus, he gets so many targets.
Right. But he's just like, I don't know. You literally, he's almost impossible to freaking stop.
And he's a different kind of wide receiver than Moss. And like, I know you.
Right.
You prefer like a good route runner to like big, strong, and fast, but like those big, strong, fast guys don't run routes. There isn't one that runs routes like anybody small. It's just not this. It's a different type of game. And Justin Jefferson probably has enough size to use his body against people and has the foot quickness to run phenomenal routes, get in and out of breaks, and then just has great hands as well. So, yeah, right. I mean, he's phenomenal. I've had him on my keeper league since he was a rookie. He's the shit.
I mean, he pretty much does it all, man. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I was thinking about that though. I'm like, I don't know. He might be the best receiver I've seen in the first 3 years. I did tell him that Moss is probably right there with him, but it's definitely close. I think he has an argument. I mean, he's been absolutely absurd.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Yeah.
But yeah, that Vikings defense is garbage, and also why I don't think they'll go very far in the playoffs.
Shit.
Like they're terrible.
He has 400 more yards than Moss, 500 more than Beckham, almost 1,000 more than AJ Green and Michael Thomas and Torrey Holt, Mike Evans, Jerry Rice, dude, to put up 3,600 yards in his first 3 years in that era is pretty incredible.
Right.
My
rebuttal to that is I didn't see Jerry Rice play, so.
Sure. Well, so he and Holt did it with less than 2. I mean, Torrey Holt only had 250 interceptions. Jerry Rice had 200. So Justin Jefferson has 307 receptions on 450 targets. Moss only had, holy shit. So Moss had 4,100 yards, which is second on
in 3 years, you mean?
In 3 years. So it's Moss had one more game played, 500 less yards, 80 less receptions on 190 less targets. He had a 3-yard per catch average better. Here's the big one. He had 43 receiving touchdowns to Jefferson's 24.
Right. Yeah, no, he was He
which
had
is
because he
fucking
came out of the
nuts.
gate with like 17, right? Or
Not like, yeah, I think that was his rookie year was 17.
yeah. Yeah, and then he had like 14, 14 or something like that. So yeah, that's what I told him. I said Moss is probably the only one I remember in my lifetime. And I caught the tail end of Randy Moss. Like I remember when he was on the Patriots and caught like 25 touchdowns or whatever the freak he had that year.
Yeah, yeah, we he had at least 22 because I think 22 was the record, and then I don't remember what he finished with.
Absolute insanity.
You know who I'm
Anyway,
surprised isn't on this list is Calvin Johnson.
honestly, dude, I looked at his career stats. Not as good as I thought.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
he had a really really dominant stretch in the middle of his career, but like I mean he also didn't play for nearly as long, but
Well, he was banged up all the time too. I
yeah,
don't know if you
and he was on
remember.
the fucking Lions, dude.
Yeah, he twisted his ankle probably 6 times a game. You know, and every time, like, dude, I had him on my fantasy squads as well, and watching him was so gosh darn stressful. Um, so speaking of fantasy, who's your favorite fantasy player you've ever had?
Jamal Charles.
Jamal Charles, like
Oh
hands
yeah.
down.
Oh yeah. No, the one year Jamal Charles went absolutely
Bonkers.
bonkers, dude. That's
Yeah,
all I remember. It was insane. If you had him, you won your league that year. Like
I
he was a cheat code.
yeah,
Or Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell's definitely up there.
Bell was fun.
I had
Tomlinson, the
Bell.
year he had 31 touchdowns, was fucking nuts. He scored 3 touchdowns a game. It was like almost guaranteed.
I
I
think
didn't
Jamal
have him
Charles
that
might
year.
have had a better year than he did that year, the one year, I think. Because Jamal Charles had
He
like
was close on touchdowns for sure. I feel like he had like 25 to 28, but then he probably had more overall yardage. But Tomlinson was just on a ridiculous team that went like 14-2. Um, mine's Adrian Peterson. I've had Adrian Peterson multiple times, and it's just ridiculous. It's so much fun. I had him the year he
yeah.
came back from his ACL, and it was, yeah, unheard of.
So
Anyway,
this one year of Charles I was talking about, he had 1,287 rushing yards for 12 touchdowns. And he had 70 receptions for 693 yards and 7 touchdowns. So he had 19 total touchdowns,
damn.
uh, almost 2,000 total yards, and added 70 receptions on top of that. So
Wow.
Matt Forte's up there too, actually. Because I used to always pick him, and he used to always be like a second or third round pick, and he was like
Yeah.
just a cheat code in PPR.
Oh, yeah.
And obviously,
Oh, yeah.
I love watching him as a Bear. So, but
I
mine is
always
probably Charles.
I always seem to catch guys after they're good. So like Steven Jackson, I'd have him a lot, and he was never good for me. Or David Johnson, I got him the year he broke his wrist, which is great.
Oh, yeah,
I
that
could have
was
taken Le'Veon Bell or fucking Antonio Brown and been great.
maybe.
But no, yeah, let's take David Johnson. We'll outsmart everybody. Speaking of outsmarting everybody, can the Bears outsmart the Bills this weekend and Sean McDermott and company as they are expecting a blizzard on Christmas Eve?
Well, I don't. The blizzard might be coming the day before the game. I think the day of the game is just going to be cold as shit with some residual snow.
Well,
But as far as I know, the weather forecast is going to be snowing Thursday, Friday, a little bit into Saturday, and then it's just going to be frigidly cold.
I mean, I don't know if you know this, but being a weatherman is a complete joke. And
I'm just reading to you what I read off the weather website
they're just
before the
throwing
podcast.
darts. They're throwing darts, bro.
Hey,
They probably
I don't live there. I don't know.
They look at a city like nearby from the day before, and they just say that because they don't have a fucking clue. Like, oh, there's some winds blowing this way. It was cold in I don't know, Indianapolis yesterday. It's gonna be cold today. Yeah.
All I
That's my
saw
take
was
on weather, Ben.
possible up to negative 30 with wind chill on Friday.
Ooh, absolutely brutal. Absolutely brutal.
And it's supposed to be below 0 with wind chill on Saturday. So it's going to be an absolute cold one in Chicago, which I don't know if that really plays into the Bears' favor because they're playing the freaking Bills, who are born in that stuff. So Bear weather, Bill weather, whatever. There was a lot of build the dome talk this week. at the game. I did hear a lot of that.
Yeah, it wasn't
Oh
even that
yeah,
cold.
that's what I said.
They're just looking forward to next week where they're like, hey, we need a dome just for like specifically weekends like next weekend, which they're not wrong. Like, cause I went to a game like that once there and it was awful. I was miserable. I would have rather have been like in jeans and a hoodie than in, you know, 4 layers of pants and 3 layers of sweaters and coats and hats and still freezing my fucking ass off. Yeah, wasn't fun. Bear weather. Yeah, no, I'd like to be comfortable. I'm 43 years old, dude. I don't need that shit anymore. Fireball ain't gonna get it done.
It gets it done, dude.
No, it doesn't, because it actually thins your blood and makes you
Oh,
colder.
whatever. Does not.
Just you're just too drunk to realize how cold you really are.
What if your blood already is Fireball?
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Coors Light's just not even in
Miller
there.
Lite.
They're just in there to hang out. They're like, oh hey, oh I see that Fireball's already here. But yeah. So well, the funny thing is like the Bills can't really run the ball other than Josh Allen. Like
Well, dude, this is what I was gonna say. I don't want to be all homerish, but the Bears actually match up somewhat well versus the Bills, in my opinion. But there's going to be absolutely no answer for Josh Allen, especially without Sanborn playing. They're not going to be able to spy him. I mean, he might run for 150 yards this week.
dude, Jaquan Brisker is just gonna come down and spy on him and blast him in the face.
Dude, how about that? How about that play, whatever the hell the Bears were doing, where they blitz Brisker and just open up the Red Sea for Hurts to walk into the end? What kind of defensive play call was that last week? Where Hurts
Yeah,
literally just ran up
yeah,
the like.
right up the gut, right
Dude,
up the gut. It was like a good 20, 25 yards too, and there's nobody around him. It was yeah. Allen Williams did not call a good play on that one, but he called a good game overall. Which
for sure. I'm just
I
making
I always
fun of
find
it, but
it comical, listening to broadcasters because like they're just either complete assholes about the Bears, like, oh yeah, they're gonna collapse, or this team's been bad, 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 or they're just flat out shocked that anything is going well for them. Oh yeah, this team doesn't turn the ball over ever all year. This is the worst team in the NFL at turning the ball over, and here they are, up 3 in
turning the
the
ball
turnover
over.
category. And the Eagles, they never turn the ball over. Man, their offense is always protecting the ball, but here we are. Then, like with the defense, oh, this young group of defensive backs, scrappy as ever for the Bears. It's just so surprising that they're doing well. And it's like, yeah, I mean, I guess I get it. And it's just, I don't know. It's just like I said, it's just comical. But that's why, like, I kind of like the NFL model with national um, announcers is nice in a lot of ways because they're professionals. They're very pretty good at their jobs, right? Especially the play-by-play guys. And then you go to like the hockey and basketball model where it's always local knuckleheads from the
Oh
local
yeah,
channel. Like
it's
Denver
hilarious.
has this station called Altitude, and they're probably former players, but they're so homer. It's
Oh, they
fucking
always are, dude.
hilarious. And
Yeah.
like Denver's not that bad. And there's a couple other ones that aren't that bad. I've listened to like some Charlotte games, and they're not terrible. But man, there are some announcers out there that are just like hilarious. Like, oh, how could you call that? That's not a foul. Like, what are you thinking? Like, I want to hear that model applied to the NFL at any level. So if I could listen to like a Bears homer broadcast while watching it live and have it sync up, I would love that experience because I would just be loving like yelling along with my TV or radio while they're talking about like the same bullshit penalties that we're yelling about, like Claypool getting absolutely murdered on a PI call downfield, or Fields getting slapped in the helmet by Ndamukong Suh. But that's
Do you
just
have
my
any
fucking rant.
do you have any Buffalo Bills defensive statistics in front of you for defense? I can't find them. I'm looking for team stats here, man.
Yeah, give me a second.
Well, anyway,
So
I do
the
think the Bears
Bills.
match up better with the Bills than they do the Eagles. Did the Eagles?
Let's see here. So completion percentage, Bills are like 12th in the league.
Talking about offense or defense?
Defense completion percentage against.
Yeah.
Oh no, wait. No, yeah. Okay, and then so like for scoring. Oh, that's their actual scoring, not what they've given up. That's stupid. You know what I need to go to? Give me a second.
I can't find the website I normally use.
I use team rankings. It's my favorite. Where the fuck is it, dude? It's in all my tools for like all my betting shit, and I can't find it. You know what you can do? You can type things into the toolbar now. I don't know if you knew that.
You just learned figuring it out.
I done learned it. I'm good now. All right, so
Oh yeah, there it is. Team rankings. Yes, sir.
Buffalo overview. They are good. Very good.
They're very good, but I will say they're susceptible. They will let you run the ball on them a little bit, which is what the Bears do very well. And they are stingy with their pass defense, which is not what the Bears do well. I think Brett Coleman posted this on Twitter. 30% of the runs against the Buffalo Bills, which is fifth most in the NFL, are outside zone. And their average depth of tackle on outside zone runs is over 5.5 yards, which is third worst in the NFL. So Bills susceptible to the outside zone run. Bears heavy outside zone run team and are amongst the league leaders in rushing. The Bears have a little bit of an advantage in that category, but really they can't really throw the ball. So it'll be interesting though. I mean, outside zone run with you got Herbert coming back this week, or he's eligible to be.
Yeah, he
activated.
can't. Yeah, but I don't think he plays. Do you think?
Well, they'll
he
have
plays?
Montgomery, they'll have Darrington Evans, and obviously Fields. So I mean, Buffalo will be in a little bit of a bind there. That's why I think the Bears have somewhat of a good matchup here for themselves, but obviously the Bills' pass defense is very stingy. How are they at rushing the passer? Should be probably at least middle of the pack, right? Except Von Miller's hurt.
Sack percentage, they're 10th. We are not last. We're 31st. I thought for sure we would be dead last. We suck ass at rushing passer.
I see dead last for the Bears.
I'm looking at sack percentage. So
I'm looking at sacks per game.
Sacks overall, yeah, it's probably different.
So yeah, the Bills are pretty good at rushing the passer. So obviously we're not going to be able to throw too much on them. I do like our matchup in the run game, and then just their offense. I mean, like I said, the Bears don't have an answer for Josh Allen.
Bears do not have an answer for Josh Allen. As a fact, friend.
I mean, you might be right. They might have to spy him with Brisker, but I don't know if you can really spy him with a safety. Sanborn being out really sucks. This is the kind of game you would really want Roquan in. This is actually kind of the game Roquan would probably thrive in, but he's not here anymore. So,
no, he's not.
Stephon Diggs versus Jalen Johnson should be a fun matchup. I mean, probably similar to what we saw out of A.J. Brown versus Jalen Johnson, kind of a feisty matchup. I mean, the Bears are going to get probably 10 points or so. I don't hate that. I think they can definitely cover or backdoor cover this game. I think they could keep it. Like I said, if they can run the ball, which the Bills will let you do on them, I think they can keep it somewhat close, at least for a while. What do you think?
I mean, we can always keep it close. I think we're top 5 in the league in ATS numbers.
No, we looked at it last week. We weren't good.
No?
Bears, the Bears are pretty bad. But we said,
Yeah, maybe.
they're in it for a while, and then they just absolutely blow
That's
it at the
right.
end.
That's right. Maybe like first half ATS were fucking solid.
Yeah, sounds about right.
I could look that up, but I don't want to. I don't know, man. 10 feels. I don't know, man. This Bills team is so weird, dude. They'll play down to people sometimes. It feels like.
I mean, it's the same thing the Eagles did. They probably went out there thinking they were going to roll the Bears, and the Bears came out swinging. And who knows, if you're on the right side of some of those turnovers and can capitalize on them, you can make it a game. But it's going to be very hard for the Bears to pass, which they already struggled to do versus this Bills secondary and pretty solid pass rush. I mean, how have the Bills' numbers been pass rushing without Von Miller? Do you have numbers on that at all? Because he was their sacks leader. You should be able to see the last 3 games or 5 games on that website you were just on.
Yeah, where's that? I think it's records and dual game. I think it's dual game log. Nope, that ain't it. What's that one? Where's that? Stat splits. Yeah. Okay. So last 3 games. Defensive efficiency. It doesn't have sack percentage on the last 3 games on here. Unfortunately.
Would you believe me if I told you that the Bills are 8th in rushing in the league right now at 134 yards per game?
Well, as a team, Josh Allen, sure. Right? Yeah, because because Allen's involved with most of that. But, yeah, no, I don't mean that's crazy. So last 3 games, the Bears are actually fairly solid on offense, efficiency wise. Like they have better yards per play, better yards per rush, better yards per pass, less points per play by quite a bit. Shitty third down conversion, shitty red zone scoring percentage. Bills are very good in the red zone, 90% efficient in the last 3 games, which is fucking nuts. Average scoring margin, Buffalo by 8 points a game, 25. Opponents' points a game, 17. First downs a game, 21. For the Bears, average scoring margin is minus 12. 16 points a game. Opponents, 28 points a game. And only 14 first downs per game. So yeah, we're not very good. Apparently, I it feels like we're better than our statistics show. No wonder announcers hate us. They just look at these stats and they're like, "Man, the Bears are fucking terrible."
Yeah, they are bad. I just think if you
they are bad.
They do match up a little bit better with Buffalo than you would think they would. The Bills are 13th in the NFL right now in the last 3 games sack wise, so they're all right. They're kind of middle of the pack there. I mean, definitely went a little bit, further down without Von Miller. So we'll see. I don't see how the Bears stop Josh Allen in this. And that's pretty much gonna be it. I think he's gonna have his way with us, but I can see the Bears keeping this within 10.
Personally. What's the over under on this?
I don't know. I mean, it's got to be probably affected by this weather a little bit too. I mean, I'm sure Josh Allen lives for this, throwing in this type of shit. I mean, Fields has a strong arm too, no doubt about it, but he doesn't have a Stephon Diggs to throw to.
Yeah, so let's see here.
Maybe this is the Chase Claypool breakout game.
Is he going to play?
I hope so.
Bears are +9 right now. What is the actual?
Oh yeah, I'm seeing 8.5 on FanDuel with an over under of 39.
Yeah, that's because of the weather, obviously, but it's probably still going to sail under.
You think
Be
it'll
like
still go under 39 with the Bills?
be like a 16-13 game, dude. When the Bills play in snow, they don't play great. They're not the Patriots, from what I can remember. I could be completely full of
They
shit,
played in a
but
snow game versus Miami, and they both scored like 30 points on Saturday.
well, whatever.
I mean, I don't think it was like crazy, but it was definitely like really cold and snowing a little bit.
Oh
The
yeah,
score of
because
this
there was
game.
those signs that said "freeze the fish" or something like that.
32-29, man.
Wow. Well.
Don't make me
Okay.
don't make me
That's
mortal locking over.
yeah. Please don't. I don't want to like bet my mortgage and like you're finally right. With your lead pipe lock of the week.
Lead pipe lock of the week. Get the fuck out of here with that, man. Oh shit.
It's just the
Lead
thing
pipe
that people.
lock of the
It's
week.
the thing that people say. There was something on. I don't know if you've ever watched Trent Attia's surgical stream, but it's a bunch of fucking, you know, amateur cappers, and this one dude, this one dude called it his donkey cock lock. Fucking, here's your donkey cock lock of the week or of the day or whatever, and it was pretty funny. It caught on, but I don't think it was. I don't think it hit very often.
All right.
Anyway,
Well,
I don't know.
give me a prediction here.
Well, I was way off last week because I said the Eagles were just going to trounce us like 35-10.
Do you know what's you got to hear this? So, you know how my score prediction was 29-23?
Yeah.
We were sitting in our freaking Airbnb, and my Eagles friends who say hello, by the way, and they missed you at our tailgate, Chris. I forgot to FaceTime you.
Yeah, it's okay.
We were watching the Bills game, right? And they go 29-23. How the hell are you going to score 29 points? And literally, as soon as they said that, like the next drive, I'm pretty sure the Bills tied the game and it was 29-29. I'm like, what do you mean? How do you do it? Two teams just did it right in front of us.
There's so many, like, I do enjoy, like, scoregamis where, like, it's never happened before or whatever. There's always a couple of years, it seems like. But those, yeah, 29 isn't that difficult.
It is kind of, it's a weird number. I mean, if you think about it, it's a weird number, but no, I
it
mean,
is
with
a weird number. It takes one missed extra point though.
Yeah, which
when you're
we
there.
saw Santos do.
Yeah, again. Apparently, so Hogan Johns talked about this a little bit, and somebody asked Santos after, kind of what the fuck, and he said, like, he had been lining up on the right hash, and he's been doing it for like 8 years, but like this year he keeps hooking them left. So they're like, whatever, man, you're either just playing your draw too much or whatever. Why don't you try lining up in the middle? Because you're overcompensating. And so he lined up in the middle and he just nailed the next two. So I guess like the thought there with Hogan Johns was kudos to him for trying something different, which is true and good that he'll, but like these veteran kickers that have been around forever, we've seen it happen with too many vet guys that were really good and then went into a little bit of a slump. So, I mean, him missing extra points, he's still like 36 of 39 field goals or some stupid shit. And 3 of those were probably 50-yarders or 2 of those are probably 50-yarders that he had no business making anyway.
Yeah, he doesn't have a strong leg. Didn't Nagy trot him out for like almost a 60-yarder last year? And the dude's I'm almost positive Nagy had him out there for some ridiculous field goal.
So you know how they didn't go? They didn't try and kick it from like the 31 or whatever. Would have been like a 47-yard or some shit, 48-yarder.
This game, you mean?
Yeah.
Dude, it was so windy. It
because
was so windy.
it was super windy. So I guess like Santos was warming up, and Eberflus and what's the special teams guy's name? Jefferson. Anyway, they looked at him, and Santos is like, nah, I can't make this. They're like, if your kicker thinks that he can't make it, you just don't even bother, because like kickers are gonna say, 9 times out of 10, yeah, I got
Right.
this. Of course I got this. I can make it from 70. But he was just like, nope, the wind is nuts. I'm good. So
Yeah. I
I thought
mean,
that was
honestly,
interesting.
a kind of, I guess, small point. I mean, he kind of has to probably try out a little bit the rest of this year. I mean, he's got 3 games left. I think he can't. I don't know, man. If he misses another extra point, they really might have to think about what to do with him next year. If next year's the year they're trying to, dude, man, kickers fucking come and go. I mean, he had a career year last year, and
Yeah, but think
I
about
don't
Mason
know.
Crosby, man. He had that same issue for like a season, and then the next season he was fine. Same with like Chris Boswell in Pittsburgh. He was shit last year, and he's been a lot better this year. Like, I don't know. I just don't like a revolving door at kicker. Although Michael Badgley was fantastic the week he had to kick for us, and he's what, like Detroit now or some shit. So we got that guy a job,
I think he's on the
but
Chargers. Yeah, and he's been money.
I don't think
We'll
so. I
see.
think he's on
Well, I'm
Detroit.
just saying, I don't think he can mess up too much more this year. It'd be nice to see him finish the year strong at least, and
Yeah,
for
I
his own
agree.
sake.
Definitely. I mean, I don't want him to, you know, have a bad rest of his year and go into next year with like on a downturn. But like, I by no means think that his job's in jeopardy.
We'll see. We'll see how he finishes. Score prediction, Krugman. What do you think?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
I got mine. 23-17 Bills. Over covers by half a point. Bears cover.
We're gonna go 27-15 Bills.
So you like the over too?
Sure. I don't, but whatever.
Well,
After
then
you
change
told me
your
that,
score.
after you told me the fucking Bills and Dolphins scored 50 or 60 points in the snow, that kind of changed my whole thing. But there's supposed to be a lot of wind, so yeah, let's go back. Let's backtrack. We're gonna go.
You don't think it was windy in Buffalo, dude?
I don't know. You're the fucking weatherman, apparently. Tell me.
It was
You said
most
it was
likely
snowy.
windy.
It was
It's
most
always
likely
windy.
windy. It was
It's
always
always
windy.
windy.
You were just there for a Metallica concert and chicken wings. Tell me, was it windy that day?
Windy.
Fucking liar. You don't fucking... I hate you.
More to luck. Put your mortgage on the over.
Get the fuck out of here. Now it's sailing under 20-17 Bills.
27-0.
20. Yeah, exactly.
What did you
No,
keep
but
saying last week? The Bears aren't scoring more than 10 points on the Eagles.
I didn't expect the Eagles to turn it over 3 times. And they still only scored, what, 16?
That's lockdown defense, baby.
That is not a lockdown defense. That's Jalen Hurts having the worst game of his season. I was going to say career and then life and then all kinds of other words that were.
It might have been the worst game of. No, there's no way it could have been the worst game of his career. He still threw for 300 something yards.
Yeah, and ran for 3 touchdowns. He still probably had a passer rating over 100.
No, I don't think it was.
Nah, not with 3 picks. Nah.
Picks
3
tanks it, man.
picks. Yeah, picks kills you. So actual real life prediction. We'll go 24-12 Bills. Cairo
Do we
Santos
score a touchdown or we score four
field
back?
goals.
Get
4
the fuck-
Cairo Santos
We're not getting
field
in the
goals.
end zone at all, dude.
Nah, nope.
Get
The Bills
fuck
give
in.
up 17 points a game, dude. And those are against
have-
and that's after giving up 30 something to the Dolphins.
They haven't played him yet, dude.
Uh-huh. Him ain't got nobody to throw to.
He'll throw to himself.
Dude, wouldn't that be like you remember doing that as a kid? There's no way. That would be so much fun. Just like
He would throw it up to himself, and the wind would knock it back 10 yards.
probably. Well, I don't know. Is oh yeah, it is in Chicago. Yeah. Yeah, that under sailing. 39. Donkey cock lock under.
Put your mortgage on the over.
Put your mortgage on under 30. Get like plus 600. Fucking watch them score like 19 total points. Be like 13-6. It's just the ugliest fucking thing you've ever seen.
All right. It's time to wrap this show up.
All right. Since I embarrassed myself singing last week, I'm not going to do it again. So.
Oh, come on. I'll put
down. Chicago Bears. Goodbye. Have a good night, everybody.